Namaskar, hello, welcome to my channel. This is a very special video. I have decided to upcycle one of my sarees, and for the first time, I will be sharing every step of my journey with you. If you know me personally or if you have been following me on YouTube and or Instagram, you probably know this already, my stance on fast fashion. I feel very strongly about the environmental impact of churning out new clothes every day, every minute, every second. In order to combat that without compromising on fashion quotient, I now am heavily into upcycling, recycling, recreating, and my favorite fashion item to upcycle is a sari. A sari is at least 5 or 6 yards of fabric, and there's so much you can do with it. I've made many dresses, skirts, tops with my saris. I also like to upcycle my old and existing saris into newer versions by maybe adding embroidery or paintings. There's so many things that I can do. I mean, not technically I'm not that talented enough. I decide what sort of art I want to be added to the sari, and then I find the relevant person and send it to him or her. So this time the sari that I want to upcycle is not really an old sari of mine. I've worn it only once, to be fair. I only got it as a gift last year. It was gifted by my mother-in-law. It's a beautiful silk. It's an Upara silk sari. Upara is from Andhra Pradesh, taking its name from its place of origin along the eastern banks of the Godavari. The sari is famous because of its lightweight in spite of being a silk weave. In fact, the best qualities of uparas are said to fit into a matchbox. It's that light. The one I have is a beautiful half and half sari. It's this one. So half of it is check, the one that goes to the top half. The bottom half bit is red, just red. And all through it has this golden border. The blouse matching with the lower half of the sari is also red with golden border. So my plan for this sari basically involves embroidering the borders, the entire length of the borders. The kind of embroidery that I want is dabka. I've already got in touch with an artisan who specializes in that kind of embroidery. It's based in Park Circles in Calcutta, and if you want to know his contact details, just drop me a message and I'll be happy to share it with you. So dabka embroidery is something that involves using very fine, very thin metal wires, tightly coiling them and using them as threads basically to create almost like a three-dimensional pattern. Because they are metallic springs, they stick out of the fabric, but they give the fabrics a very rich look. This kind of embroidery, obviously, like most exclusive art forms, were once patronized by the royalty, but thankfully nowadays people like us can use it too. Apart from this embroidery, there's something else that I want to add to the sari, and it is this one. This is a meter of raw silk. It's pure silk fabric that I purchased today from a fabric shop called Aparna in Loudon Street in Calcutta. They have a wide collection of fabrics, the widest I've ever seen, and they are my go-to shop for fabrics, for exotic fabrics. This is very bright blue. It contrasts with the colors of the sari, black and white as well as red. The reason I got this is because once the borders have the embroidery done, I want this fabric to be cut into strips the same width as the borders and to be attached to the rear part of the sari. So if this is the front part of the sari and if the border ran like this, my embroidery artisan will be doing his dabka work on the front side of the sari, and in the back side he will be attaching a strip of the same width. So you will just be able to see the blue bit when the pallu is lifted up above my shoulders. It will keep peeping and it is going to add just the right pop of colors to my sari. So let's see how it turns out. Welcome back. I can't believe it has been almost a year since I recorded the first segment of the video. Unfortunately, lockdown happened, coronavirus, you know the rest of the story, and I did not get the opportunity to visit India and collect my sari from the artisan. Anyway, better late than never. I've got it now. You have had a look at the pictures, and this is the sari up close and personal. This is how the final product looks like. There has been a little change of plan. Remember, I told you that my intention was to get the dabka embroidery done, but when I took it to the artisan, he suggested that I go for pita hua zari instead. In this kind of embroidery, golden wires are used to embroider, and then finally they are beaten in place with a hammer, so that gives it a flat appearance. It doesn't stick out like a dabka. It's also slightly lighter, it looks slightly different. I have got a number of clothes customized, and it is my firm belief that I should always listen to the artisan, because it is their craft, it is their area of expertise. They know it much better than I do. I might have my plans and my intentions, but I always like to give due credit to their experience. So if they have any suggestion for me, even if it is slightly different or totally opposite to what my plans are, I would always listen to them. So when he suggested, I said, yes, fair enough, you know this better than I do, why not? And I do not regret it at all. It looks stunning, it looks beautiful. There has also been another little change. Remember, I told you that my idea was to get the embroidery done on the border itself, but he said that this being a lightweight silk sari and the golden wires being heavier, obviously it would just weigh down the border, and in due course of time it will just tear. So instead he suggested that I use another piece of fabric, get the embroidery done on that, and then stitch the fabric with the embroidery to the border. This is what he has done. I got a red colored separate piece of fabric which he cut into the border with, and then he did the embroidery on that and stitched it to the edges of the sari. And the blue border at the opposite side, the rear side of the sari, as I mentioned, I learned a new thing this time. This apparently is called a false ceiling. Don't ask me why. He has also attached a blouse border for me, even though you know that this is an old sari of mine, so I already had a blouse for this, but he made this border to be attached to the blouse piece. I might use it for some other sari blouse. At the minute, I'm happy with this one. So this is how it looks like. Very pretty. This sari was beautiful even without this. It is one of my favorites, but with this it just has got a new dimension, a new glamour, and may I just say that it looks very designerish now. Now when I went to collect this yesterday, I was a bit shocked because I couldn't locate the shop. I knew where it's located, but instead of a craft shop, an embroidery shop, I found a grocery store. But I knew that the shop existed because I'd called him up just about 5 minutes before I reached the destination. Then it turned out that because of the lockdown, he obviously did not have enough work. So finally they decided to split the shop into two horizontally. You can't believe it. It's a normal sized room. They have literally split it into two by adding another floor, and in the ground floor they have a grocery shop now. In the top floor, rather the half floor above, they run the embroidery business. So yes, they are still struggling. He told me that if I have any more work to keep him in mind, I will, of course. I don't get the opportunity to wear too many saris, as you know, and I have loads of them already. So at the minute I don't have anything for him, but he's a very good artist, as you can see. He has his team of artists. In fact, they work together, and they also work for some of the top designers of India. I'm not talking about Calcutta only. Definitely they are some of the top designers of Calcutta, but there's also a very big Calcutta based designer name for whom they do some work. So they are top class, and I will highly recommend them. If you want to know their contact details, get in touch with me. Drop me a message on Instagram or write a message on YouTube, and I'll get back to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I promise to come up with more upcycling ideas for you if you want.